Namaskar. Let me understand how many of you know the real meaning of Namaskar. Anyone? Wow, okay. So from Sanskrit, it's Namah, Te Namah. Your brain, my brain comes together to do a greater goodness. And that's Bharatiya culture, it's not Indian. Fortunately, we adopt anything and everything. And that's how humanity adopted artificial intelligence. For me, when I started my life just after 12th standard, and I can say that today I met one of my batchmate in this conference, Motushi, and that's because of another human. And when we started talking with each other, we explored that probably AI can't give us those emotions. So my subject today is a little bit of very heart-touching, where we are going to explore a little bit of technology and going to understand how technology can be integrated with humanity. So before I start, I would love to play a small video and eventually maybe hop into the main subject. Is it okay? Yeah? I just want to understand everybody's awake?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah? Super. So can we play this? Yep. Whatever you're going to watch, it's our own engine, our own work. We don't use any kind of third-party engine or software. Probably when you understood, can you put this little bit of down? I'm a human, not an AI. Yeah, little bit down. Thank you. So when you watch this presentation, you probably are thinking that the guy is talking about game development. For your understanding, let me give you a little bit input. How many of you heard about a company called Apple? Everyone? Super. A guy called Steve Jobs. Excellent. Do you know the history? How he learned and understood the GUI interface? There is a company called Atari, if you have heard about that. Steve went to Atari to create games for that particular company. There, he integrated the GUI part of it. The reason I'm giving you this input, somehow, probably in this part of the world, in eastern part, we forget that game development as a technology is the first adopter of artificial intelligence. When you play any kind of game, you're playing against the machine, the system. Then eventually we went online. We started playing with other humans. There you have a network of networks. Eventually you hopped into database. From SQL as a language, we now went towards blockchain. Now from blockchain, now we are connected with very deep level technology. So whatever you're watching is practically done by human plus machine. So when I mention human plus machine, that means there is a GPU which is generating these images, but there is a prompt engineer and a coder who is writing all these codes along with the graphical representation. That means this is not done just like that. I'm not sure how many of you understand, prompt engineering cannot be done without human. Agree? Yeah? So you need your imagination power. Now how do you define imagination into a system? That's the challenge. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So what happens in the background from the coding level, they take multiple different information, translate that into a data. That data combines in an algorithm, gives you an output. This output may be perfect, may not be perfect. Now, how do you define perfection and imperfection? I'm not sure how many of you have used maybe an image generation process. Maybe you're writing, create a beautiful lady sitting in front of Phuket, right? Phuket is a place in Thailand. So what will happen, the system will understand the graphical representation nearby Phuket and sea area, pick up multiple different eyes, nose, ear, lips, body parts, combine that so that you feel that, okay, fine, there is a new image which has been generated. Now, how it is picking up? from a global database where we are feeding that data. Okay. How we feed these kind of data? When you see that this lady is probably pretty well charming, giving you a kiss, or maybe this car which is running over there, or this lady. Do they exist? We as a developer, when we hopped into virtual reality or probably augmented reality, we started understanding these complexity in a different level altogether. So when we create characters, let me give you a perspective how these things started. Long back in the year of 2006 in Calcutta, we started taking real models and actors and we started converting them into 3D character. Okay, let me understand. How many of you watched Shaktiman as a TV series? Super. How many of you know that we are game creator of Shaktiman? Super. How many of you know that there is an actor called Jeet in Calcutta from Tollywood? How many of you know that we are character holder of Jeet? We created and co-produced the movie called Boss 2. That's called emotional intelligence. We don't know each other, but somehow you know the product. Yeah? So when we talk about AI can't work individually. It needs a data feeding. Okay, let me ask you another question. Maybe that will be interesting. How many of you know that we hold approximately 350 plus actor and actress as their IP as a character, where we save them from defect? I'm sure none of you do. Virtually to come as a company, we are partnered with Intel, Microsoft, Samsung, Moga, to name a few. We work as a white level developer. We work very, very closely with the cybersecurity department. To give my little bit of intro, I sit as Industry 4.0 as one of the advisor into PMO. Plus, I sit as advisor into multiple different RAL families. I own a venture capital fund based out of US called 1836. We invest mainly into the deep tech technology companies and health tech plus agri-tech. So when we talk about all these emotion, all these presentation, all these connectivity, as per my understanding goes, it started long back during Mahabharata time. Can you please stop this presentation? I would love to give them a perspective. How many of us know a character called Barbaric? Quite a few number, right? As per data, probably that was the first artificial intelligent character who entered into Kurukshetra fight, who gave its head to Krishna. He had a power. Okay, let me engage the audience. Who can tell me what is the power of Barbaric? Any one of you to raise hand, please. Can we have a mic for the audience?
I'll just speak.
Sure.
You could have killed everyone with one arrow.
Super. Little bit of explanation. The arrow had property, 3 different properties.
That much of detail I can't explain, but yes, I do.
Okay.
And the people listening that also I do.
Super. Barbaric had a power. If you ask him to fight, he fight only for justice and weak. Right? And he had a power that if he defines his arrow to go anywhere, it will go and it will kill. And nobody can stop it. Krishna understood this. And he asked a very simple question to Barbaric. For what purpose you are fighting? And whom will you join? He said, I want to fight for justice. And I fight because I fight for weak people. The next question he asked, okay, fine, imagine a situation, you're fighting for Kauravas. Now, because of your power, somehow, if you shoot arrow, Pandavas will be killed. Now then, you have to join Pandavas and have to fight for Pandavas. And eventually, Kauravas will go down. So what is going to happen? He was clueless. Right? That character couldn't understand the complexity of human being. Being a clueless guy, he asked Krishna, what to do then? What shall I do? Krishna said, okay, fine, give me your head. I'm going to put you on the top of a mountain you can watch the entire Kurukshetra fight. In that way, you will become immortal. Not going to touch any religion, but eventually that head became Khatu Sam in today's world. We started worshipping that. So when we talk about probably AI, EI, somehow from that Dapar Yuga, we couldn't touch very soft thing, heart. Do we think from heart? No. It's just for controlling your blood. So where exactly you are getting all these emotions? Hormone? Neurons? Any answer? Some people are emotionals, we call them emotional fool. Some people in the corporate world probably thinking that maybe if I fire him, he will lose the job. What is going to happen to his family? Do we think? Think. But at the same time, we have to sack. But when you go home, mark my words, when you try to sleep, sometimes we feel that, have we done the right thing? As an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, I take decision which is good for probably the company, sometimes for people. All these information coming from a very old culture of us. I don't know whether it is spiritual or not, because I hate to call myself as a spiritual person, rather I'm a technologist, but it is coming from Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and Mahamaya. So if you look at Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the protector, Shiva, the destructor of negativity, and combine that with Mahamaya, it becomes Param Brahma. That's pure hollow. As a human being, when you understand that you are nothing, that's the power of emotional intelligence. When you conceive, you don't know anything. You don't have any power. I think that's what we call as a powerful person and a wise person. Now let me go a little bit of deep. Can we achieve that utilizing technology? Can we feed that to system? Arijit, can you code that? Can any better coder, there are of course multiple better coders than me, can they do that? Maybe yes. Should we achieve it? That's the question. So if you look at a factory, if you look at a manufacturing unit, how AI is being used over there? A, optimizing the cost. B, there was a drama which was played by this young kid, beautiful drama. It's making a statement that AI is killing jobs. It is taking away human jobs. In one segment, yes. But in another segment, you cannot stop something which is already there. Have we ever thought that atom bomb was created just to kill people? No. So it depends on us how we're going to use it. Until as we upskill ourselves, I think there is a challenge. I'm so sorry. AI is not taking away the job. Rather, it is creating new job in the market. If you look back a little bit, where Uber didn't exist, Ola was not there. It used to be, let me come back to Calcutta. Yellow taxi used to rule us. Late at night, if you want to go home, Dada jaben, 500 টাকা বেশি লাগবে. Dada jaben, jabo na. Yeah? Who killed their job? They themselves. Somebody came in the market, disrupted, and then created a platform. Now these guys are saying that we are jobless, give us job. Yeah? Okay. Let me come back to tech part. Graphics designers. Picking up multiple different pictures from internet, don't care about the IP, create some image, and probably your company get a shoe later because that graphic designer never ever became ethical. So a prompt engineer emerged and he said, forget about all these designers. Write the code, it will be done and it will be flawless. So who was the actual cause and effect? There used to be job for content writers. I'm sorry, with due respect to all of them. Even we used to hire a lot of content writers, right? Then I have to recruit 5 more people to cross-check and verify their content. Increasing cost of the company. I'm sorry, I'm being very brutal over here, right? Increasing the cost of the company, time. Then comes a chat engine. He said, okay, fine. If you want to create content, this is how you should do the preliminary stage. And then you put a writer to give the emotion on the top of it. So is it taking away the job? No. For basic input, you use the engine and then you enhance that with your human touch. Okay. Another question to the audience. How many of you use map? Any map? Google Map, Apple, we use it? Remember around 20 years back, there was no Google Map? How you used to think? How you used to think of a road? कहाँ से right turn लेना है, left turn लेना है, या फिर any other countries if you are traveling there. How you used to travel? You used to pinpoint a location. This building, take a right, maybe this seashore, take a left, you'll find out a tree, maybe a big old tree. That's how we used to think, right? But what happened? Maps came. It said, you don't need to remember everything. I was having a discussion with a gentleman, I forgot your name, sir. Shobik. We started thinking that, okay, fine, we are becoming more and more updated. Even though I'm a technologist, even though I create these things. If you ask me, till today I don't use maps. You may get a shock. No, I don't. Till today, if I have to spend time, I spend time with human. I don't spend time with machines. You know why? Okay. I can draw fairly, right? So if you think of an artist, they draw out of love. Love comes from emotion. But when you draw, until you are becoming very, very logical, you cannot draw. It's a myth. People feel that if somebody is playing guitar, maybe he is not a science student, they can't do anything in their life. But science says, if you are playing guitar or if you are maybe into music, you are one of the finest coder. How many of you know that? So when we talk about all these emotion, another input to all the audience, if you feed Sanskrit with system, machines, they talk better, right? So if I may enchant maybe a small sloka, it might feel that this guy is crazy. But sloka or mantra cannot be done half, right? You know the reason why? It's your breathing control. If you stop in between, you are actually giving a hit inside. We know that? Okay, let me shift a little bit. How many of you do आरती? Super. कैसे करते हैं आरती हम लोग? No, if you have, is it crossing time? 2 more minutes. Is it like round or is it some shape that you're creating? Okay. As for Sanatan, as for structure, it's creating Omkar. Yeah. So why you create Om out of thin air? Again, science. You call it logic. When you move your shoulder like this, there is a connection that is happening with your heart and your neuron. So everything what we do with AI or no AI, I call it as no AI, that world will always exist and will always connect the recent technology, which is Gen AI. Sorry, nobody is talking about Gen AI. The presentation that you have seen, it's a combination of very old creation of ours and then Gen AI. The way we edited everything, you felt that probably it is done by AI. It's not. The initial part, approximate 1 minute 20 seconds, was done by human. The rest of the part is done by the system. Now when you feed it in your brain, this is my last line, you felt that all done by the system. It depends how we see and how we analyze. So let's learn how to analyze rather than just see things. Thank you so much.